So anyway, this is the real bug, but before we get into that, I'd like to welcome everybody back. It's been a long time. I'm certainly glad we're here, and I know you are as well. I'm going to go through my traditional greeting. Hello, fellow junkies. As we all know, fishing is our disease, and the tug is the drug. And what I'm going to demonstrate tonight is a small fly. It's designed to, of all things, catch saltwater red drum, or as they are commonly called, redfish, in the Rio Grande or in the Gulf of Mexico. An interesting sidelight is that this particular bug works equally as well on freshwater as it does in saltwater. So there is the United States only subtropical fish that is native to Texas. It's called the Rio Grande perch. Now it's a cichlid, and it's about the size of a bluegill. I think the state record is 2 pounds and a few ounces. The interesting thing about the cichlid family is that it also includes a South American fish that's very susceptible to flies, known as the peacock bass. So it's a first cousin of the peacock bass. And I doubt very seriously that anybody in this room other than myself has even seen or known about the Rio Grande perch, but it has a rather unique trait in that it lives in brackish, very warm water. It prefers water temperatures that are above 80 degrees. And obviously there's very little oxygen in that kind of water, but it thrives on it. And its shortcoming is that it isn't it is very susceptible to cold water. It isn't very tolerant of cold water. If the temperature gets below 50 to 55 degrees, it's terminal for the Rio Grande perch. Now, it resembles the butterfly cichlid that the peacock bass has. So they're shorter than the regular peacock bass, and they don't get quite as big, but they certainly get bigger than the Rio Grande perch. You can tell a Rio Grande perch very quickly by the fact that it's a grayish olive body that it has with bright blue dots. Now, some people call them turquoise. They look blue to me, but I guess it's in the eye of the beholder. Huh? It also has a trait that the body of the fish from the head to right past the pectoral fins is all solid. Now the fish is all solid grayish olive, but it's solid up to the pectoral fins, and then it starts to develop some vertical barring from the pectoral fins to the tail. So that's another little interesting trait that the fish has. But in addition to the Rio Grande perch, this works well on bass and bluegills and other members of the sunfish family, crappies and so forth. I guess that's about all the background I can give you on the bug itself. Like I said, it was developed as a saltwater lure, and obviously it was much bigger. Oh, yeah, sorry. All right. Now then, let's go ahead. Be careful, the eyes are very small and they're prone to get away from you. I've got a few replacements up here. Oh, all right.
What was the record for the
I'm sorry.
What was the record for the Rio Grande?
It's a little over 2 pounds. If you want, you can go on the internet and search for Texas cichlid, and it'll bring up all kinds of pictures and other information about the Rio Grande perch. Now, everybody should have 5 parts in the kit. It should have a hook, which is a B10S. It's got hourglass eyes, small. It's got a red barred leg. It's got a sparkle braid, which will be used for the body. It's peacock colored. And it's got a tan silly leg that's speckled orange and black. And it actually looks pink in sunlight. So there's a interesting mix of color combination that I think is part of the reason why this particular lure is as productive as it is. Now, one other thing that's true is it's somewhat based, and I'm sure the members of the club that are tires notice this right away. It is somewhat based on the Clouser minnow, but wherever you would find bucktail on a Clouser minnow, the Rojo bug has rubber legs for use for the tail and the wing. Now, everybody's hook is debarbed, so you won't have to worry about that. These are Gamakatsu hooks, and they are sharp. So get your hook in the vise. The thread I'm using is tan. It matches the wing. And for some reason, for Rio, that's a real trigger. It doesn't seem to fish quite as well if you were to use it with pink or a fluorescent fire orange or a chartreuse thread. The dark threads will work, but this tan thread seems to be the real key. Just lay down your thread base. And the first thing we'll do is tie in the eyes.
How far down the hook shank?
About 2 eye widths past. Well, about 2 eye widths past the eye of the hook.
I see it.
Yeah, I'm having a little problem getting my fingers to work too here. Yeah. All right. And then you can do the over the hook shank and under the eye. And pull it tight. Okay, everybody got their eyes on here. All right. Now, take your barred red leg, the shorter. All right. And what you do is just kind of even the tips. And with the loop to the back or the bend of the hook, advance your thread. Tie in your tail. And you want the loop and the legs themselves to go to the back of the bug. So you'll wrap over it just a little bit. And then take your scissors. And you have to adjust it just a little bit. Now there's a way to make the body. You can either tie it in traditionally. I prefer a little bit thicker body on this particular bug. So what I do is I'll advance the thread back towards the hourglass eyes 5 turns. Take a loose wrap. Whoa. Don't get your legs involved here. Take a loose wrap. And a safety wrap. And then take the other end. Take a loose wrap and a safety wrap. And then get it to operate here. And just go ahead and tie it on down.
But you want the body to stop behind.
You want the body to stop behind the eyes. That was the next thing I was going to say. Now, there's a couple of things you can do with it once you get it here. But I don't want my leg there. There we go. Now, what you can do is you can twist it into a rope and use your tackle pliers and wrap the body with the hackle plier. Do a bobbin toss. Or 2, and then take 3 or 4 safety wraps. And trim off the excess. Take your thread and advance it to the eye of the hook. Finally, take your one remaining rubber leg, align the tips, go behind the thread, and tie back to the hourglass eyes. Add a little pressure.
You go over the eyes like a clouster or not?
No, no,
So just to the front.
yeah. I do like your idea of going behind. Go ahead and take it behind. It really does make it work a lot better.
Couple wraps to hold it.
Yeah. And you want to maybe spread the outside legs down a little bit. And then go underneath and go back and whip finish. And you're done. Yeah, I guess I didn't emphasize that enough, guys, and I apologize, but
You said it, but I said too much.
yeah. You want the wing to be the longer of the two.
Okay.
I like the shorter, smaller legs at the back because they really agitate as you're stripping. The wing has a tendency to just flow, but the shorter lack of a better thing, the skirt for the tail.
I will try this tomorrow.
It,
I'm taking my wife fishing.
all right.
There we go.
Did you try this?
And that's all there is to it.
Very nice, Keith.
What kind of
Well, it's different than yours because I always use my 10 Carl rod. But I just try and strip it a little bit. The important thing, if you're fishing for reels, is you have to realize that they are bottom feeders. They've got a very rubbery mouth like a permit. So they're really kind of hard to hook. But once they inhale the bug, and they're not shy. I mean, they are a true chicklet. They hit it. You just, you know, set, snap set, and you're on.
Game on.
Yep, game on. Now you can tie this obviously in a bigger size. As a matter of fact, the original one was tied on a 2/0 3366 hook. And obviously big eyes, and you can adjust things about this. The material that you use that is originally used in the pattern is peacock herl, even for saltwater. But what that means is the bug itself is pretty much expendable. You only get one, maybe two fish out of a fly before you throw it away and tie on another one. But they're so easy to tie, it doesn't matter. I prefer not to have to keep tying on and tying on and tying on. Hence, I use the sparkle braid. But you could dub the body. You could use crystal flash on the body, and instead of the sparkle braid. But sparkle braid is tough stuff. You could make it tougher by coating it with UV resin, but you know, I don't go to that level.
Chenille? Could you use chenille on that line?
Yeah.
Could you use a chenille on that line? Chenille?
Chenille, yes. Yes, you could.
How about a longer shank to make it look like more like a minnow? A longer shank?
Well, you know,
Why do you have your?
to me, it resembles, it is similar, and this is another reason why I like this particular pattern. It is similar to a lot of things. I mean, is it a minnow? Is it a crayfish? Is it one of the bigger nymphs like a pelgramite or an Isonychia? It just resembles so many different things. I don't know what the fish actually sees
What they think of it.
when it goes for this bug. The only thing that's important to me is that it sees it as food. You know, it's going to eat it. And it really works well on the bluegills that we have around here. I haven't caught any Rios since I left Texas, and I lived on the northern fringe of the northern boundary of its range. You can catch them anywhere from the Rio Grande to Brushy Creek in Round Rock, Texas, which is a suburb of Austin. That's where I live. And anywhere north of that, even though winter to Texas has 4 seasons, by the way, just like all the rest of the United States and like we do here. It's almost summer, summer, dang, it's really summer, and hunting season. Okay. Yes, it rides just like a Clouser minnow would. It's hook point up. So it cuts down on snags, yes.
So do you fish these fish like, maybe the same kind of structure as smallmouth, or how do you?
It'll work on smallmouth, yes. You might want to tie it in a slightly bigger size, but the pattern is the same.
But when you're fishing for them, like, this habitat, what are you looking for? Do they relate to different types of?
You know, you're probably gonna, for a smallmouth, you want something that looks more like a crayfish. That's their forage, either that or a minnow of some kind. Goby or a sculpin or a darter. Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.